Hello. OBS, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Why do you keep reverting the game window to. You're supposed to save whenever I close. What the fuck is your issue? That is so annoying. Okay, good morning. OBS is being a piece of shit, apparently. Okay, speaking of why can I not make you smaller? Don't want the window to be this huge. Am I not allowed to change the window size? Hmm. Okay, guess not. Brr, 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 brr. Oh, okay.
Ender underscore Onryo said percent message percent.
Okay. That is not. That is not the formatting you want. Okay, so. And triggered automatically generates. Oh, wait, hang on.
Wax Novi said this is a test whisper.
No.
Ender underscore Onryo said Apple.
Okay, so that does work. It's just it doesn't properly work through the command. Although I did not grab the URL. Hmm.
Ender Onryo said %message %.
Okay. YouTube chat message.
Ender Onryo said happy.
Okay. Frame uptime time code 1.
Ender Onryo said soup carrot 2.
Hmm. Why not working? Current YouTube broadcast ID. That is not getting set. Why are you not getting set?
Random bag that animates said
Oh,
such
fuck.
chess engine.
Disable. I don't need every single chat message going through. Hello, bag. Yeah, no, sorry. We are doing chess stuff. I got distracted. I was getting distracted by my by my incredibly rudimentary TTS system thing. Okay, get current broadcast ID. Oh, that's great. That's appreciated, Beg. I hope you enjoy the stuffs. Okay, I cannot find where this. Yeah, I cannot read that fucking. Okay, that was a follow message. Man, I have like nowhere good to put this. Just the little notification box. Although I guess it doesn't super matter if it covers the game window. Okay, clear current broadcast ID. Can I duplicate? Duplicate. And then set. Set current broadcast ID. And then add YouTube broadcast started. Oh, so that's what that does. I've never actually used highlight my message, but yeah, literally just highlights the text, so I suppose that's fair. Okay, so doop doop boo doop doo. Streamer bot YouTube broadcast started. Auto generate broadcast ID. I think that's the value that I'm looking for. Test. And then. Nope. Test. Nope. Why are you not working? Maybe you can't generate if you're in the middle of a stream. Okay, I guess I'll just manually input the value. Okay, so then do.
Ender underscore Onryo said percent message percent.
Okay.
Ender underscore Onryo said percent message percent.
Okay, that works. Okay, so that does grab the. What? I'm. Okay, whatever. Okay, so. Okay, so that grabs the YouTube timestamp properly, although that will break if there is significant dropped frames. Why the fuck do we have Rust dependencies? I'm not using Rust, I'm using Python. You should play some music. I don't have any music. What? No. No, I'm not gonna. I would prefer not to have like high tempo stuff for like coding and stuff, because that'll just be very distracting. How the fuck do I do this? Formatted board equals blah. Oh, wait. There we go. Now listen to music or animating. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really do that. Like, it's like unironically incredibly distracting. It makes it very hard to focus. Okay, so if I go ahead and do that, and then I run it. Okay. Put on another tab. That works. I mean, I'm not opposed to playing music. I just don't know anything about music, and I'd rather not go off on a tangent trying to find something that would work. Why does black have 2 rows of pawns? Black should not have 2 rows of pawns. Okay, now they don't. Why the heck did they have? Why do? Okay, whatever. Okay, so yeah, if you gotta go to bed, feel free to go to bed. Staying up late is only occasionally a good idea. But thank you for the luck. Oh, possibly need it. Okay, do not call me that. That's just weird. Ugh. Okay. Okay, what does that line do? Okay, so that does add it. So I'm gonna need a line break and then a double space. Okay. So this line break dot join first character and then a space and then dot join for I in range. Okay, okay, I understand now. It's just horribly cursed. Okay, so so if I take this and then throw it into here. Hmm. That does not work. It also... Oh. Plus equals. Okay, that did not work. Okay, I don't actually know what this bracket is doing. But this does do what I want it to do. Okay, so for I in range length board, okay, so the character 72 minus I, so that gets the actual letter, plus space, so that there's a gap, plus space dot join. I guess well this space dot join I for board and for I and board. So this piece I think is what's actually building the piece locations. So it's joining the letter and then a space, and then joining the entire first row, and then joining letter minus 2, okay, and then putting a line break at the end. Okay, so formatting board plus equals that. Okay, so this adds the letter, and then this adds the row, maybe? Almost. There's no line breaks. Hmm. Okay, so it added the H properly. Oh, this plus equals is adding the H at the very end. So if I get rid of you. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so for iron range, length of board. Ugh. Oh, okay. Wait, no, not okay. Oh, wait, I don't need that break in there. Uh, okay, so put a line break at the end of this one. A. A. Okay, so. Hello, Puvi. Good morning. Oh, a lot of people coming in. Good morning, Cobalt. Okay, so for iron range, length of board, add letter plus space, and then add row of data. And then after all that, add row of number. Okay. I understand. Okay, so add row letter, add row state, add line break. Is this just an automated chess pod or a full chess game? This is a nothing at the moment. This is an attempt to learn how to do stuff and things. Right now, the only thing that this does is just print out a bunch of letters and numbers. It isn't even a game at this point. Yeah, no progress is progress. That is absolutely correct. Okay, I can get rid of that. Okay, so print board state goes at the very end. You know what? No. The line break can just be part of that. That's fine. Okay. So add the letters, the row state, loopy, 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 and then at the very end, add the column numbers. Initial board equals this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and collapse that. Okay, so move piece. Old position, new position. I guess player. Because we need to check if you're trying to move a piece that you own. So okay, let's Python get user input in command line. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, input. The prompt string. Okay, well, what does this just do? Oh, okay, it breaks. Board is not. Oh, right. I changed the name. Define initialize game. Current board state equals initial board state. Okay, so I need to go up here to okay, so initial board state is blah, current board state is empty. And then we initialize current board state, blah, 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 and then print formatted. Okay, let's go ahead and just collapse everything. Okay, let's go ahead and just okay, so game pieces. You go there. And then initial board state, you can go here. And then current board state, you can go there. And then initialize game. Move piece. Execute code. So we initialize the game. Current board state is not accessed. What the fuck do you mean? This is totally initialized. Oh. Oh, that's annoying. Wait, no. I have almost no clue what's going on. Don't worry. That's fine. The thing that's like... The thing that I'm currently specifically working on is this current board state variable is I'm initializing it to be empty so that it exists and I can do stuff with it, but it doesn't actually have any data just yet. And then I'm trying to give it data, but for whatever reason it does not. It's not allowing me to do stuff with it. it's not accessed. What do you mean it's not accessed? No, it is named correctly because if I highlight this, it then highlights all other instances of that exact text. So like if I just highlight board, it's also highlighting every instance of board in the code. So this is spelled correctly. The thing I don't get is why this is not accessible, but this one is. Variable current board state literal. One problem in this file. What do you mean problem? Oh, right, board is not defined. Well, I'm trying to fix that. Yeah, well, current board state is accessible here. Am I not allowed to set external variables inside of a function? Because maybe this is just being treated as... Maybe this is being treated as a variable exclusively for the initialize game function. Okay, I have a different idea. Instead of having an initialize game function, since everything else is gonna just be in a loop, let's just fucking just do that. Let's just hard code in the game initialization. I guess so. Current board state equals initial board state. Formatted board equals blah. Okay, so current board state equals initial board state. For I in range, length of current board state Board output, add the letter, and then a space. Board output, add the board data. And then add the numbers. And then let's go ahead and okay, I don't know the hotkey to block comment. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that works. Let's go ahead and okay, that works. Variable input. Please input move. Please input move letter number to letter number format. Okay, so then so it'd be like A, or rather B1 to D1. That's the kind of thing we would be looking for. So B5 to D5, B5 to D5, E4 to what the fuck is this? Okay, something is wrong with my code. Sometimes the letters just get really fucked up.
Ads will begin playing in 1 minute.
Okay, so E4 to G5. a 8 to G8, etc. Actually, please input move. B5, D5, E4, G5, A8, G8, etc. Ooh, I'm missing there. Nice. Okay, I'm gonna go eat some food while the ads run. Later? Okay. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Ads are now playing.
Okay, we are back and ready to do chess. Hmm. If player input dot ling is greater than 5, just fucking do it again. Define next game step. Hmm? Pass. Okay, so next game step is okay, so does this work? The answer is no. Cannot. What? Board output equals blah. Why can I not? Cannot access local variable board output where it is not associated with a value. Okay, so yeah, it is just treating it as a local variable. That's very frustrating. invalid input. Try again. Okay, so okay, now instead of checking that it's longer than a certain range, I should probably make it explicitly check for this formatting. But that means I'm gonna have to do like regex, and I don't know how to do regex. Python regex. I don't know if Python has regex. Okay. Okay. Okay, check if the string starts with the and ends with Spain. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Hello, Doomed Heart. Good morning. Hmm. I'm trying to figure out the best way to parse the player input to ensure to like verify that the move that they gave is of valid syntax. I'm looking at some regex stuff, but not sure if this is what I should be using. Yeah, but I can't just check if there's a letter and then a number, because the letters only range from A to H. So if you put anything outside that range, it would, well, it would give an out of range exception. Same for the numbers. Although I guess the specific space in between doesn't have to be a space. It doesn't have to be an arrow. Letters are on the bottom? No, we went through this previously, I thought. Just board state. Oh, for fuck's sake, the letters are on the bottom. Uh, okay, this should be an easy enough fix. Just take this, paste that there, and then actually just fucking paste that. Python to string. Oh, of course, it's 1 in the bottom left corner. Fuck. Okay, so let's think of this. 8 minus I. Okay, that works. And then 72 minus I. Okay, so there's 8, so 72, so that's 70 minus 6, so then that would be 54. 54 plus I. $64 plus I. Maybe, okay. So then get rid of that space. Okay, there we go. Fixed it. I fixed the board. Do you still hate fancy chess pieces? Yes, unfortunately, we do hate fancy chess pieces. Because the fancy chess pieces are not the same width as the normal text characters. So it would be a lot more effort than it's worth to figure out how to make them work. Okay, so okay, so add a space at the very beginning. Join character 64 plus I for I in range 1 to 9. How about we do fucking 0 to 8? Will that break it? No. Okay. So add row numbers, add column letters. Okay, board is fixed. Indexing starts at 1 and 0. What? That's horrible. Indexing should always start at 0. Unless there's, like, a reason for it to not start at 0. There's probably a use case. I prefer things starting at 0. Maybe it's just the novelty of it. Get negative indexes? I mean, I'm sure that's possible. I mean, a negative number is just a number. It's just, I imagine the vast majority of the time, it's far more useful to have a definitive starting point. So having indexes to go into the negatives just wouldn't make sense. Because if your indexing goes into the negatives, then that means you don't really have a defined starting point. And indexing is usually like counting upward. So it's like, okay, you have your starting point, and then the next entry is +1, the next entry is +2, so that you have a unique identifier value for every single entry. And, well, anytime you add a new one, you're just adding one to the ID value. Make your own programming language? That that sounds horrible. Actually, hang on. Official chess move syntax notation. Maybe I can just copy paste what the official tournaments use. Okay, never mind. I'm not. That looks complicated. Although it does look like people tend to do, at least as of a single search that I did, people do tend to put the letter first. Which I suppose that's fair, because if we're treating the chess board as an XY coordinate grid, the letters would be along the X axis. Um, Hmm. Hmm. If a dictionary is defined for each position, those positions can add values on what was there. Yeah, no, I was thinking about that initially. Having each individual piece just be considered its own game object. Although, from what I think Yami was saying, is that typically you just treat it as an array, and in chess you just move from position to position, regardless of which piece is actually there. But that doesn't make much sense to me because, like, you need to be able to check if you're doing a valid move. And also, like, defining the rules for individual pieces has to be done at some point. So instead of just having string like capital P, I would it would be like game piece sys dot pawn or whatever. Like too much indexing? And what is where? What do you mean too much indexing? Like, if we want to grab the value from any given spot, we just have to throw out current board state and then just do two arrays, x, y. Although it is mildly annoying because the x, this is 0, 1, 2, etc. Except, actually, the first value, it's yx, which is very annoying. And then, so the y starts up here, but the x starts down here. So, like, 0, 4 would be like, this value. Hello, Python this morning. Positions dot position value. Oh. Oh, like each individual tile on the map would have its own dictionary? No, that's way too much. That's way too much. You have the map represented as this array type thing, and then you could potentially have each piece represented in a dictionary, but then you just have the value of a tile point at a piece. Yeah, you don't need to define the individual tiles directly. Hmm. One thing that I could do. I guess I could force the player to use a very specific notation, and then I could break it into an array. Getting offsets? How do you mean by offsets? Because each piece can only move in very specific orientations. And if we have your coordinate values, then it's just check if fucking if the offset from the position offset to what? From the position to what? Ah. Because like if the player inputs like they're trying to move this pawn to this location. We get the player inputs the coordinates, we check, oh, this is a pawn. Then we check, oh, the place that they're trying to go to, is that within valid range? So we get the pawn's coordinates and then add 1 to the pawn's y value. Oh, that is valid. Move. If a knight was on the edge of the board, could it do something stupid like g-2? No, it couldn't do g-2 because the player isn't allowed to input -2. Shouldn't you be subtracting 1? Yeah, subtracting 1 or whatever. You're going up by 1 value. I just forgot the syntax. You're going up vertically. Ugh. But yeah, no, you can't go off the board because the player is not allowed to input anything that's off the board. And then, like, we will have to define, like, what is a valid move for a given piece that is contained within the board. So, like, I think for pawns, it's you can move 2 tiles on your first turn, 1 tile any other way, but you can move diagonal if and only if you're taking. Oh, right, I forgot. Windows is fucking stupid, and I don't get to use the Alt keys for arrows. En passant. I don't fully understand en passant, but to my understanding, assuming I did understand correctly, en passant is if a pawn moved forward 2 spaces on the previous turn, and then you capture it, you get to capture as if it had only moved 1 space. So that description to me sounds like if the pawn moves forward twice, then like your rook or sorry bishop comes diagonal, hit this, you actually get placed here instead. That's what it sounded like when it was described to me. So it's like you get one free tile that's not necessarily within your normal movement bounds. Don't you need to track before that how much the pawn moved to see if it's valid? Yeah, that would make sense. Or alternatively, actually, I guess for the individual pawns, I guess you could just track their current position and their previous position, and then just overwrite the previous position every time they get moved, or lack thereof. Why are pawns weird? I don't know. They also have promotion. But yeah, pawns do have like the most things they can do. Like most everything else is just they have their one mechanic. Because now you need to check the distance between the last and the new position. Checking the distance between the last and the new position is trivial. It's just subtraction. Like, this would be if we were to convert this to XY coordinates. If we're ignoring the verticality and inverting bullshit, this would be 4, 2. So then if it was up here, that would be on 4, 4. So it gets taken, check previous value was 4, 2, current value is 4, 4. So en passant is true. So checking the distance is trivial. It's just like saving the positions and stuff. But right now, I really need to fucking figure out how to allow the player to move any of the pieces ever. But that means I need to figure out how to fucking parse their input values. But I don't know how to do that. Take the letters and change those to numbers. Yeah, no, I'm planning on converting them to coordinate grid, so then I can just throw them into fucking current board state YX, so that this has it in a format that it understands. Okay, because A equals 1, etc. B is 2, C is 3, etc. But the the really annoying part is the numbers. Wait, actually no, the numbers are trivial because I just subtract 8 and then apply absolute value. But I also need to make sure that the player is inputting in a specific format. Because if the player just inputs fucking random letters and numbers, the system is not going to like that. So I need to verify that it's in the format of letter number, anything, letter number. Just create a variable outside that's such a true and have it such a false so condition to it. No, we don't need to. We wouldn't need to use that many steps because when we figure out what we need to check for, we just throw it into an if statement and have the true false be local. We don't need to set it to a variable. Okay. Idea. Regex check if string follows specific syntax. While true would be needed instead of giving them only like 2 input attempts. Why would you only give them 2 input attempts? If they give an invalid input, I just throw them back to the player action selection menu, quote unquote menu. Okay, if player input. Ugh. Does not equal exclamation mark. Sorry, caret. Ask them to input once again, and then after that it doesn't check. That is a good point. I don't have. That is a very good point. I do not have this in a loop. I have an idea. How about the player just doesn't mess up their input? How about they're just perfect every single time? Fuck. Good morning, Creeper. Building chess is harder than playing chess. What? No, I'm not using ChatGPT. What? Why does everybody keep bringing that up? And by everybody, I mean 2 people. One moment. Legs are getting a bit stiff. Yes, AIs are known for illegal moves and chess. No, I'm talking about making a chess. I'm not playing a chess. Okay, how about this? I'm just going to, for the moment, I'm just going to assume that the player is going to input properly. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get the piece to move. What if the player was perfect every time is a crazy sentence? Yes, I know. But it just might work. Okay, so input. So do. So Python replace substring. Oh, okay. String dot replace. Is that not a thing anymore? Oh, oh, that's so fucking cursed. It's, oh, that's so fucking cursed. It's the literal string dot replace. The string isn't an argument. The modifier is being applied to the string directly. Oh, that's so cursed. I mean, it's less cursed if you don't have the quotation marks visible. Okay, actually, Python break string into array. Break string into array. String dot split. String dot split. Okay. Clip that? Clip what? There's no clips. Okay, so A equals player input dot split. A one -8 on YouTube, not Twitch. I know, you said all the way back in the stream to clip that. You used the word clip. I said there was no clip. I'm just using the exact same term that you used. Okay, Python. Wait, hang on. Okay, a1 minus equals 8 times -1. Wait, no, times -1 isn't absolute value. That just gives you that just inverts your positivity state. Python get absolute value of a number. Chicken belly, don't. What's wrong with you? I am always correct. Okay, so player input dot split a1 to 2 and then 2 5 4. I will never understand the fucking stupid bullshit. You can just say the word ass. Language is weird. Okay, so this gives me the correct coordinate positioning for the numbers. Now to convert letters to numbers. Convert alphabet letters to numbers. Please tell me there's just a really easy way to do this. Letter to number. Oh, you just subtract 96? Print A. Are you going to break before space C6? Oh, wonderful. Ord expected a character, but a string of length 2 was found. The fuck you mean length 2? When set to none, the default value will split on any white space. I want you to split on every individual letter. It's splitting this on the space. It's not splitting it in between each individual character. Python string.split on every character. Oh. Can I just do this? Unsupported operand types for string and integer. Ah, right. That makes sense. Unsupported operand types for string and the fuck you talking about? Oh wait, no. Fuck, I'm stupid. I need to change it to an integer, not to a string. Almost there. Integer object has no attribute lower. Almost there. You don't have to censor the word fuck. It's fine. Why the fuck is this lower an actual lower? And then this is just some arbitrary nonsense. It's the exact same text. YouTube would probably hide the message if there's a swear word.
Ads will begin playing in 1 minute.
Why are you not working? It's the exact same. It's literally the exact same action. Integer object has no attribute lower. Well, then it's a good thing it's not an integer. Oh no, I'm a dumbass. There we go. Hey, victory. Except it didn't work. because
Ads are now playing.
I'm a dumbass. Okay, so the issue was these pieces of the array, I was looking at the wrong index. Okay, time for me to eat more food. You need food if you want to get big and strong. And you have to be big and strong. So that when the games make you upset, you can punch the punching bag. Fight with the interpreter. True. But unironically, I think it would actually be kind of cool to get a punching bag set up. Because then, like, if I do get mad at games or whatever, I mean, like, I guess option one, I could just learn to control my emotions. Or I can just output it in a healthy manner. So instead of breaking my mouse, I just punch the punching bag. Excuse me. Sleep? No. We don't want our loops to sleep. We want them to run as fast as possible. Because the faster your code runs, the more efficient it is. Hey! Happy days. Wait, hang on. G is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Happy days. Happy days. Okay. Now that we have player input in a horribly jank fashion, let's go ahead. I might be able to... do move piece now? Move piece, current board state, A1, A1, A0, current board state, A5, A... Okay, so if this works, which it might not, because it's entirely possible that this code doesn't do anything. It should move from 1.5 to 7.2. And then... Oh yeah, no, I definitely need to figure out a way to shove this into a function. But let's see what happens. Okay, so A2 to E5. Fuck. Okay, what's the issue? Index out of range. What's the issue? What the fuck's the issue? Move piece calls for two values. Current board state. Purple blue? Ah, okay, I see my issue. Missed one. Oh! Oh, okay. Player is required. A2 to G5. Oh. Hang on. Go ahead and get rid of that. What the fuck are you... You're supposed to add, like, functional line breaks. Why are you... You're printing the entire thing twice. Why are you doing that? I actually had a similar idea to that, Doomed, where like the player was allowed to do a bunch of wacky shenanigans, but like you're not allowed to instantly win, but you have a significant advantage over the computer. But as a balancing mechanic, the computer would just have like an insanely cracked elo. So like the computer still has to follow the traditional rules of chess, but they're also the best player that has ever existed. Depends on how good your rules you set for it are, though. The fucking the standard rules, the ones that basically everybody uses. Pretty sure like the rules of chess have been pretty well defined for like over 1,000 years, probably. Like chess is a really old game. Also, as an asterisk, I don't actually know what ELO stands for. I just know it's some arbitrary measure of how good you are. Not taking a trade of it results in lower material. What do you mean trade of it? Just take the current best chess bot and just use that. I it's not that complicated. I don't know what you're trying to refer to. Smashing your face into the keyboard is not going to help your argument. Okay, let's try and figure out why this thing just completely exploded. Yeah, this feels like it should swap them efficiently. But why the fuck are you... Oh, wait, hang on. I know why. Board output equals blank. Okay, there we go. I was... All of these are plus equals, which means I'm just taking the board output from up here and just adding more shit onto it. Okay, so first clear it, and then print out the new board, but it looks like it did not work. Hmm. So it needs to go YX. What are you talking about, Doomed? Like actually, none of that makes any sense. It's also not accurate in the slightest. In any capacity. Like that's just word vomit. For the sake of word vomit. Like none of it is applicable to anything. Not that I'm seeing anyway. Why are you not working? T and Y equals old and new position. Old position equals Y, new position equals T. But old and new position is current board state, which should be A1 and then A0, which should be column and then row, which is that's the order of operations I'm looking for. So this should be swapping. This should be moving the piece. Okay, that worked. Okay, so this syntax does work. It's just not working in the function. Why are you not working? Old position equals new position equals old position. Actually, I guess old position can just equal just space. Because Yeah, because you're always moving the piece away. And there's never going to be anything left behind. I mean, unless you make custom pieces. Is it because we never get the type piece? The type of piece should not matter. Because right now, all of the pieces are just letters. Literally just letters. They don't have any fancy data. What do you mean it's not accessed? It's right here. New position equals old position. And then old position equals clear. Okay, idea. Skip the move piece function entirely. And just hardcode everything. Hey. That goes to A2 to A4. Hey, I did the thing. Okay, so we can go ahead. I don't know why it's not working with the move piece function. Come to think of it, none of my functions are working. Maybe I just don't understand how functions work. No. Fuck. I'm getting tired. What the fuck do you mean it's not accessed? It's clearly right there. You're getting highlighted. And then this definitely needs. Ugh. This definitely needs to be in a function. But if I try to put it into a function, it gets upset. Because it's like, board output, I can't access the upper variables. Because I'm a little stupid programming language. I mean the variable doesn't exist? Well, the variable does exist. New position means whatever I put in here, like if I call the function, whatever I put in here gets placed inside of new position. So this is a local variable. Like, I guess in a sense, this is never accessed because I give it a value, but they never actually do anything with it. I think I know what's going on. Fuck. I don't know if I'm allowed to access anything outside of the function. Because, like, this is inputting the value. When I'm doing move piece, this is inputting the value of current board state 4.3. It's not inputting the variable current board state 4.3. So, whenever I'm running move piece, it's just setting the value of the string p to the string space. Which is annoying. Yeah, we can probably fix that. So if my brain would cooperate. It's getting real fuzzy. Need to access current board state. But I don't know if I'm even fucking allowed to access current board state. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I am allowed to access it. Hmm. Can I take this and just shove it into here? And then just take this, shove it here. Okay, so the player makes the move, and then we move piece, player input, list it, break it out, blah 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 blah. New position equals old position, when old position equals space. And how does it break? It doesn't break. Wait. It is offset by 1 on the letters. Um, okay, so 5? Brr. Why are you so like bringing up the music thing? Music is distracting. That's just gonna make it harder for me to focus. But awa, but that's not answering my question. I was curious as to why you were wanting music. Because it's silent. And how is that a negative? Now, like, I'm just asking because I am genuinely curious. Because, like, whenever I'm working on stuff, I genuinely do prefer as little distractions as possible. Yep, that works. I do not know why I needed to increment by 1, but it works now. You want less distraction because you're the one working, that we're watching. We care less about being distracted. That sounds like that sounds like a serious conflict of interest. But yeah, that does make sense. Doom, the like, what's the fucking term? Not sarcasm. Maybe passive aggressive. That might be the term I'm looking for. I don't know. But yes, no, I know how to push audio to the stream and also not hear it myself. I just haven't. I don't have anything set up for that at the moment. One thing that I've been meaning to do for a while though is just set up. One thing that was recommended to me is just grab the menu theme from just a bunch of different games that I've played and just throw them into a playlist for like when I'm taking notes or whatever. Because like menu themes from games tend to be chill and like not super bombastic. So I could just throw that into a playlist on shuffle, lower the volume to where it's like a little bit audio, a little bit audible. Although I would have to go through my Steam library, see which games I even have the OST for. Or alternatively, I could just sit down and spend a weekend recording a bunch of acapella. Your mic is quiet? That's very interesting. I suppose I do have my gain set all the way down, but that was because I didn't want my AC or my computer to be picked up. Okay, so if I set Okay, so if I set my mic, if I set my mic's gain directly to about halfway, and then disable the gain in OBS itself, this is what it sounds like. I also do have noise gate enabled, so I can't get super loud. Like my noise gate is set. Well, actually, rather the limiter. The limiter is set at -15. So like, even if my gain is maxed out, this is the absolute loudest it can ever be. Because like I don't want to blow people's eardrums out. Like I guess I could lower that somewhat. Set that to like set it to -10. I could do that. Have the gain all the way up. Set the limiter a little bit higher. But I mean, it also doesn't help that my mic is like a little bit away from my face. Like if I had the microphone in a proper setup, it would sound something more like this. Because right now I'm kind of leaning into my mic so that it's getting the full proper talking mouth noise action. I don't know if that sounded any better or not. Proper setup sounds more louder. That makes sense. Although interesting that it would sound louder, given that the limiter is still in place. Although I guess right now talking, my voice is like around like -15 to -20 decibels. But like if I was right up next to it, I could, with the new limiter in place, I could have only -10 decibels. It would also be that it's more clear, so it would be a lot more voice compared to background ambiance. But unfortunately, I do not have a mic arm. I didn't really think too hard when looking into what mic I was going to get. I was just like, oh, this one's recommended, I'll buy it, and turns out it's like a decade out of date. How expensive are mic arms? That is a very good question. Let us find out. Oh shit. They're not very expensive at all. I mean, like looks like it's like 130-ish for the high-end ones. But like for something lower quality, I could probably get away with like $30 to $50, that is. Like the most expensive one I'm seeing immediately is the Rode PSA 1 Plus at $130. Well, I mean, I'd rather spend a little bit more to get a higher quality one, just to ensure it'll just last me forever. Quote unquote, forever. But yeah, it looks like the range is like decently varied, but like ranging from 30 to like 70, with just like a couple instances jumping up over 100. I wonder how bad the cheapest one looks. Well, that's the thing about the mic arm. How it looks is kind of irrelevant. As long as it does the job. So, like, I imagine. Oh, yeah, there's the air conditioning. That is now hearable on the microphone with the increased gain. I imagine the lower quality, the issue with those is like, sorry, the cheaper price means lower quality material and it'll like degrade faster and stuff. Although some of these look like they're like fucking decent. But I guess maybe they don't have the fancy stuff like suspension and like suppression and whatnot. But yeah, it looks like a good chunk of these is just it clamps to the side of your desk and then you position it where you need it. I $4 for a mic arm? What's the fucking catch? Is it made out of tissue paper and aluminum? Yeah, no, I'm definitely not trusting my microphone to something that costs $4. No, no, I pulled it up. I'm looking at the $4 one. I mean, technically it's $4.50. It's on on a discount. Yeah, no, I'm not fucking paying $4 for something that's going to be holding what is effectively like the microphone is responsible for like over 50% of the stream's content. Because like without the streamer talking, that is a significant percentage of the reason to watch a stream just gone. So I'm not going to risk breaking my microphone because I got a cheap ass mount. Although, like, realistically, what I tend to do most of the time is just go pull up other streamers, see what they use, and then just buy that. Because it's like, well, if they've been using it for years, it's probably good. Like, I tend not to do a ton of research. Stack of objects to hold mic. I don't think a stack of books is going to be as useful as like a proper shock mount. Like just a guess. I also like my current desk is so fucking small. I don't even know if I would have room to have a stack of shit. Okay, so move piece. Okay, so player input, and then move piece by player input. I should probably set this to update board state. Like, just define it as a function. Define update board state. Is that just going to work? Okay, so clear board. Okay, so board output clear, and then bada, and then print. Define move piece, and then update board state. Let's see where we break. A2 to Q3. There we go. Okay. Current board state A3. Why do you not work? Why do you not work? Oh, wait, no, it it didn't work because I'm a dumbass, because Q is for the queen. That's not a row identifier. You said minimal distraction. When did I say minimal distractions? And also, that's not a distraction. That is very relevant to the stream. Fuck. You said you like minimal distraction when we're talking about executor. That's different. We were in the middle of a conversation. Whereas if I'm trying to focus on, like, I was trying to focus on talking with you, and then, like, looking at the mics, which is what we were discussing. Whereas if I'm trying to focus on coding or, like, something else, but then there's music going on in the background, that is a distraction. It makes it hard for my brain to focus. And victory. Nice. Also, good morning, Death. Hello. Okay, now that the functions decided that they want to just work, even though they weren't working earlier, this is a lot more streamlined. Okay, so execute code, current board state equals initial board state. And then I actually don't need to update the board state immediately because it's just already nothing. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, because this has the print board output. Actually, hang on. No, maybe I should have, like, some fancy intro thing where, like, the first time, like, when you initially run the script, it has, like, some text that says, "Hello, welcome to chess. Would you like to chess?" Nah, we can do that later. I would not. You would not like to chess? No,
Ads
that's
will begin
unfortunate.
playing in 1 minute.
Okay, I want to put something down in this corner. This corner feels too empty. What's a character that we could shove into this corner that would be funny? Maybe ampersand? That could be funny. The narrator asked if I would, so I don't want to now. Oh, that's a fucking mood. The game wants me to do something, so now I instantly want to do the exact opposite just to see what happens. Nah. Adding another character there might potentially confuse some people. Also, I guess having that corner there makes it very easy to identify, like, a separation between the two axes.
Ads are now playing.
Oh, the ads are here. Okay, well, time to eat more food. I'm tapping my spoon on the side of my bowl and it's making my avatar freak out. Okay. We are back. Back again. Okay, execute code, blah blah blah, update board state. Okay, so I need to put these in a loop. So yeah, that while true idea, that was a pretty good idea. Okay, so game in game active equals false. Why is it capital? I think in Godot, Booleans are lowercase. Okay, so execute code. Actually, I guess I can just initialize it as true. Okay, so while game active okay, so this should just loop indefinitely. So A2 to G7. Okay, and then G7 to C3. Cool. And then C3 to W2148339. Okay, so we got a loop. So then, like, eventually somewhere near the bottom here, or in move piece, or blah blah blah. We will look for checkmate. Although I guess depending on how many rules you want to actually code in. Official chess regulation. Holy fuck, this is a big list. This is a very big page. Oh. Oh no, I did misunderstand how en passant works. En passant isn't you capture them here and then move here. It's if they did en passant, that means you're able to capture them by moving to if they had only moved one tile. That's interesting. Also, I do appreciate that pieces getting taken and then just fully deleted is just passively built in. That's really convenient. I'm gonna go ahead and add a line break here. Nice. I wonder if I could get away with making a grid. Is there any just monospace ASCII rectangle? What? What the fuck? Why is the black square smaller than the white square? Unless that's an optical illusion. Oh, no, it's not. It's not the same spacing. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I guess I could do something like that. Man, no, that's gonna be a really chunky board. No, if I want a fancy grid, I can just upgrade to something with a proper UI at some point. Because then I could just layer the pieces over the board. Okay, update board state. Like a move piece. I guess next I can... I guess I can check to see if a piece is legal. So player ID and then player input. 0 can be for the actual player, and then 1 can be for the CPU. Wait a minute, hang on. I can just take this. If player ID is 0, run this. To move the piece and then update. So that way, if player ID is not 0, so if player ID equals 0, that's the human player's turn. And then if it's like 1, we do anything else. Okay, so in this, so this segment is grabbing the relevant data that the player inputted. So right here we check if the piece is valid, and then we like execute the move. Actually, If A0 is not in range of 0 through 7 or whatever. Because I can do an if check there to ensure that it doesn't crash when it hits here if the player inputted something that was false. Alright, but the if check was the complicated regex bullshit. But I guess, because we have to make sure it's in the right format before we plug it into this. Okay, so selected piece equals this. Target tile orig tile new tile. That is much more legible. Okay. So I need to define the ways in which a thing is allowed to move. So I think for everything except for the knight, that's not going to be too terrible. How do I do block comment? Python block comment. king, queen, bishop, rook, knight, rook, pawn, colors, black, white, because we should generalize. The rules for movement. So a piece can have a type and a color. Go away. Oh, it's not Unicode. It's not monospace, rather. Can I change my font? Appearance. Preferences. Here we go. Settings. Click off. Controls the font family. Actually, can I put you at the front? Oh, right. That's what the issue was there. Because Iosevka. The arrows are exactly 2 times the width of the letters. Huh. Yo. Isoevka? Can Isoevka use the fancy characters? Let's find out. I really should have just kept a backup of this table. Okay, looks like this might work. Looks like Isoevka might have font variants for these specific symbols, which would be really nice. Or maybe they are just naturally like twice the size. Oh yeah, no, they are just naturally twice. Either they made them twice the size, or they are just naturally twice the size of a normal character. Although this does mean we'll have to make all of these double space. Now this is, I just remembered that this does make this font sensitive, but this is for personal use and learning, so I kind of don't care. But also the Isokeva, or whatever the fuck it's pronounced as, is, I'm pretty sure it's a free font. So, mildly annoying. Okay, define move piece. New tile equals org tile. Empty tile. That'll work. So if I run this, and then I go A2, B2, it does not work. Why does not work? If player ID equals 0. Oh, right. Because this is just setting this variable to the value of whatever this is. It's not setting it to be the actual variable. That's kind of annoying. Oh, I just deleted one of my own pieces. I also shifted everything over. Why did it shift everything over? Because I did a double space. What? Okay, I understand. Everything inside the board is on a different arrangement. So, like, these letters need the double space, but everything inside the board does not need a double space. Okay. There we go. Okay. Nice. We're making progress. We're making moves. We're making chess. Woo! Okay, so move piece, blup. So while game active, actually, I equals 0. Move piece I plus plus. We don't have I plus plus. Fine. I plus equal 1. And then inside of move piece, I guess I could just do a check to see if player ID is equal. Like if it's an equal value, or sorry, even, not equal. Hmm. No. That seems like a lot of effort when I could just do that. Because this is standard chess. We're not going to have more than 2 players ever. So if player ID equals 0, do the normal shit. Else throw in computer logic here. Or I guess alternatively, I could make that into 2 separate functions, one for player move, one for CPU move. What the fuck was I doing? Something logic? Oh yeah, I was fucking with this. Okay, let me go ahead and just copy copy this. Okay, I'm just messing with this so I have easy access to all the characters and I don't have to pull up the Wikipedia page every single time. No, not F11. Why are you purple? Why are you fucking purple? Don't be purple. Why are you purple? Obsidian? What the fuck is wrong with you? And then rook. And then let's go ahead and give me black pawn. What is my font? Yeah, it's Isoveka. Iosevka. Fuck. Wait. Quick font size adjustment? Oh, hell yes. Nice. Why is this one broken? Okay, whatever. I guess that one's just broken. Is it becoming an emoji or something? I don't know. I don't know if Obsidian has emoji support. But I mean, it's using the obsidian purple. So I don't know if... I don't know why that's happening. Hmm. Yeah. I might switch this character to another font as it doesn't have it. Oh. You know, Obsidian having a universal, like absolute lowest level font as a backup, as like a failsafe, that would make sense. Ooh. Huh. Hmm. Not sure how to indicate that a character can go in any direction indefinitely. I guess there's... I guess there's actually only so many types of movement because there's cardinal for rook, orthogonal bishop, octagonal king, octagonal plus queen, and then there's just fucking pawn and knight. So I mean, damn, there's only 6 pieces? This is a very complex game for only having 6 pieces. Okay, it's 504. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a little bit early. We made a lot of progress. Thing is, we're gonna be having ads soon-ish, and I would like to get a tiny bit more sleep before I go to work. So thank you all for being here. Tomorrow I will not stream, but then on Saturday we will have the the full day stream of hell. So that's fun to look forward to. Okay, bye bye.